Welcome to the Creative Possibilities Podcast, a show for artists, dreamers, and individuals wanting to reconnect to their creativity. I am your host, Amber Price, and author of the Creative Possibilities book. And I'm inviting you to a space where creativity meets conversations about inspiration, hope, and rediscovering flow. Let's celebrate the creativity in all of us. Well, welcome, Susan. I'm so happy to have you on my Creative Possibilities podcast. So good to see you today and surrounded by all of your beautiful paintings, it looks like, as well. Awesome. Well, today we are going to focus on the topic of painting your way to joy. And I truly love that topic that you came up with. Thank you for that. And our worlds have intersected recently through a program called Radical Magic with other creative entrepreneurs. And I know you gave me a write-up, and now I know that you had transitioned from the field of advertising and illustration to doing more of your own paintings and to now doing painting programs that invite others to paint. So that is kind of so cool to me. All of that is so cool to me. And I want to start by just getting to know you a little bit more. So tell me about yourself and tell me about what forms of creativity you're passionate about.
Yeah, sure. I'm really thrilled to be here, my dear. And I've been an artist since I could hold a crayon. I couldn't do math or science when I grew up, so that was also sort of pointed me towards being an artist. And I read the world, like I'm not a big reader of books. I have probably ADHD, never formally tested, and dyslexia. 'Cause it's not fun for me to read at all. It's a challenge. I can, but it's not fun. So I read the world visually. It's like my eyes are taking in everything. I go to a party, I can tell you what everybody's shoes are. I can't help it. I like take in the world visually. I have a feeling you can relate because you're a artistic type. So, and then long story short, catapult ahead to school, and I thought, well, I'll go into business school so I could be a smart marketer of my art that I haven't created yet. But I flunked out terribly. I kept failing accounting. I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't the best route. So I went finally into fine arts. That wasn't ideal either. They'd say things like, Susan, just paint from your soul. And I was 21 or 20 or something. And I thought, paint from my soul? What the heck is that? Just teach me to paint. So it wasn't bad, but I ended up finding my way into advertising because I could draw well. I finished that degree. I got a diploma in illustration and design and worked in advertising. And that's where I really learned what I wanted, which was to be able to draw and color things and make them look good and look beautiful and sparkle. You know, like beer had to look shiny and wet, and the guys had to look cool, and the girls had to look buxom, and whatever the ad was about, everything had
Yes.
to look great so that it could
Exaggerated,
sell
yes.
their concepts. Pardon?
Exaggerated excitement of like
Yeah, yeah,
showing the things that make people really want to buy it. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, that taught me how to do that with painting, not to make people to buy them, but for my own satisfaction to be able to paint things and make them look how I wanted them to. So I got all this, a lot of secrets in there. So I
Yeah.
painted for 25 years after that. And last year, just last year, I started teaching online because I thought
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of other people who would love to learn how to make things look beautiful and real in a sort of an easy, relaxed, painterly way. I don't know if you know, not everybody knows that word, loose
Mm.
painting, but keeping it real.
Yeah.
That's been my
I
latest.
love I love your style. It definitely is painterly and it's expressive as well as like I can clearly tell there are flowers are all around you and flowers behind you and I can clearly tell the lipstick and the and the different things. So yeah, that's beautiful. I'm so glad that it sounds like you've kind of stepped into a new part of your life where you're using your talents and you're bringing people into your world to kind of learn, like our topic today is learning to paint with joy. And you're teaching that joy as well as painting skills, it sounds like.
Well, what I've noticed is the people in my course are getting joy from what they're producing, which is,
Mm,
I didn't know that would happen. It's kind of a really sweet bonus.
a very sweet bonus. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm definitely passionate about painting and drawing and coloring and gardening and setting a beautiful table and decorating my home in a way that I like. Um, yeah, I love going for walks and just looking at everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much anything. Cooking even can be beautiful, you know?
Mhm. It sounds like you have a curious curiosity about you, and also you see beauty in a lot of different areas of your life. So I think that's a skill that I love and have learned about from my own mother and then learned about from other artists in my life as well, too. So I love it. Well, let me ask you a question about letting go. So it's hard to sometimes let go of the stress of the world and be curious and see the world's beauty because sometimes the world doesn't feel beautiful sometimes. So what do you have to let go of to make painting enjoyable, to make painting easy for you?
That's a great question. I have to say it's always been easy to get into it. But when I would struggle and think you just need to go sit down and play, and paint rather, I would put on Johnny Cash, believe it or not. He would take me straight to the canvas. I put on Johnny Cash, Leonard Cohen, some of the old greats, and blasted so loud that I couldn't hear what was in my head. So it would quiet my head, and
Uh-huh.
I got so familiar with those tunes that they were my painting music. So I'd never play them when people were coming over. It was my sacred get into the zone music for painting.
Oh, I love that. I
I don't
love
know if
that. You
that's about letting go, but it's certainly how I would focus.
Yeah, yeah. And it seems like it kind of comes naturally to you. You said that it's kind of easy to get into because you have these theme songs, you have these certain songs that kind of cue you to tune in a little bit to yourself and tune into the creative flow, maybe.
Definitely. But also the way I paint, it's not like I guess there's something intuitive in it, but it's not what they call intuitive painting at all. I am always collecting images or looking for them or buying stuff. I have so many blue and white pots like that,
Uh-huh.
perfume bottles and apothecary jars and stuff. And obviously my garden, I grow the flowers that I want to paint. And so I'm
Mhm.
surrounded by I never, ever am short of a subject.
Mhm.
So I never go to a canvas and think, well, oh, what'll I paint? I can't even keep up with the ideas of what to paint. So
Ah,
that's different than a lot of artists who go to a blank canvas and I don't even know
this
how they do it.
Yeah, that search for inspiration. It sounds like you're not at a loss for it, that it's you surround yourself intentionally with inspiration outside and
Yeah.
inside. I think that's probably part of your magic, Susan, is that like that you keep those things close to you and you keep planting the seeds or nourishing the flowers outside so you can bring them onto your canvas.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't help it. It's not, I guess you could say it's intentional, but I can't help it. I'm addicted to beauty. I've called myself a beauty seeker before. Like I'm always looking for how can I make this more beautiful or this painting more beautiful or this garden or around my pool. How can I make it more beautiful?
I love it. I love it. I think about those things too.
I
It's just
bet.
every year, like there's something new I do in my own backyard. Every year there's new bulbs that I plant or annuals, perennials. I try to, switch it up with what I plant each year. And it really is fun to see what inspiration nature brings
Yes.
us.
Let's exchange some garden pictures this summer.
We definitely will. We definitely. Well, let me ask you about trust next. There's sometimes a confidence, like you exude a confidence about you, Susan, that you like painting and art is easy. What part of your creative process, like what do you have to trust, or is there something that you like intentionally shift your mind to trust to just be able to do things easily?
I guess I wanted to also say it wasn't always easy painting and drawing. It was a struggle. Now it's easy, just to clarify that
Yeah.
after all these years. But the other the other question, I think it's it's probably more these little downloads I'll get. Like I remember feeling so stressed out in my studio. I was painting, I had commissions, and I just thought I was going to burst. I just can't. How am I going to keep up with everything? And I sat down for a moment. See, these moments are not planned either. Like to meditate and chill and get quiet. I got to push for those. So I sat down and thought for a moment, and then I got up and I wrote on a big blank canvas I had that was still in the plastic. Took out a marker and I wrote, "Everything is okay." I'm gonna full stop, just like it is right now in this moment. And I thought,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, it's okay. Everything's okay. So I took a picture of it. I'll send it to you later. But
That's a
yeah,
beautiful
that's
down.
how I simmer down. Is I have to almost fall down to get to the point that I have to remember to chill.
Mhm.
It's getting easier.
Yeah. Well, I love that you had that download that day. And sometimes I start my canvases too by writing messages. Sometimes I have to write messages to let go of emotions I don't want to hold on to anymore. But sometimes I also start by writing messages that I want somebody else to tell me or that I need to hear almost. And
Well, that's great. Yeah,
it sounds.
Jessica, our colleague does that. I'd never even heard of it, but yeah, I should try it. Write
Mhm.
stuff and then paint over it. So you could write anything.
Anything, anything. But your process that particular day that you described, it sounds like it was a moment where you allowed yourself to slow down and allowed yourself for the download to come down. Otherwise, you do seem like you're a go, go, go kind of woman who has multiple things going on, and I can resonate with that too.
I bet. Well, I'm easily distracted, which I imagine you can too. I'll go to Facebook to get a picture that I know is in there and get all sidetracked, or I'll go anywhere down the hall to get something. And yeah, I have to, it's also hard. It's easy to paint when I sit down and do it. It's easy to teach. It's a piece of cake. I love it when I do it.
Mhm.
But all the other stuff I have to be intentional about.
Yes, yes. And you mentioned back a few minutes ago, you mentioned a very important thing that I wanted to come back to is that it hasn't always been easy, that it took a lot of practice, that you went to college for illustration. You went to college and then along the way, I imagine, like with your jobs, you learned new techniques, new skills all the time. And you are where you are today because of all the practice, all the skills that you learned along the way.
Yeah.
And
Well, and that's what's led me to wanna teach it because I thought, "It doesn't have to take this long. It doesn't have to be this hard." If someone had shown me or taught me the way I wanted to learn and be taught, like, show me how to paint a box, a simple box, and make it beautiful. In advertising, they had drugstore ads, and, I'd have to draw a roll of toilet paper on a white table and make it beautiful, and we did. We made everything beautiful. So that was the real changing the ticket to something clicking and learning a recipe of how to draw. I just did a post on Facebook yesterday. You know, map it out on your canvas, color it in, and paint it. It can be such a simple process for the way that I paint and teach it.
mm, love that. Yes. We don't have to get overwhelmed or think there's a lot of people out there that definitely feel like they can't get into their creativity or can't get into their artistic skills again because they're like, oh, I have to learn this whole big thing. I have to start from
Yeah,
scratch again. I've been out of I haven't drawn for 25 years or
those are
whatever.
my people.
Those are your
I
people.
love them. 'Cause they're ready and it's still in them, like you said, they just don't know how to get at it again. So
Yeah,
we
it's
don't overthink it. We just, go, "Here's what we're gonna do. Let's do it." And then they're like, "Oh, I can't do that." And they paint something beautiful following along with a bit of guidance, and they're like, "Oh, I did it." It's really fun.
mm, it is fun. It definitely is. And it sounds like you help them transform from like lack of confidence to having lots of confidence and maybe joy and maybe some giggles along the way of painting.
Yeah,
Um,
that was also a bonus that I
yeah.
didn't expect. I thought, "I'll teach them to paint." And then I
Mhm.
see their joy, I'm like, "Wow, this is so cool."
Do you feel like your creativity and your painting process, has it changed your mental health or helped transform um, you as a person?
I would say yes.
Mhm,
Definitely, because people would ask me if I would, "How'd you do that?" or "How do you paint this?" or "Could you teach me or my children or my friend?" And I'm like, "No, I just don't have time. I've got all these commissions, I've got a show coming." So
mhm.
when I realized I could do this online, because I taught in person before, but it takes a lot of energy and it's yeah, just I had to clear out my whole studio and it was just too much. And so when I realized I could teach online, as I started teaching, when you're here, this is where my teaching desk is. So I've got a camera. Oh my gosh, it's a mess. I shouldn't have shown you that. Don't look.
It's fun.
Usually
It's
clear. Got
real.
my
I
lunch plate
appreciate
on it
your
and
real.
everything. But while I'm painting under the camera, it's like an overhead camera. I'm painting away and explaining for them what to do. I thought used to think I can't talk and paint, but I'm talking and painting. And there's
Mhm.
something that happens that makes me paint even more loosely and
Um,
more relaxed, which has always been my goal. It's been rewarding big time that way to give. Like just give it all, tell it all, I thought I had to keep all my secrets in case somebody, I don't know, copies me. Who cares? They're all copying me now. Copying me with
Yeah.
their own style.
hmm Yeah. And part of art is learning to copy people who have mastered certain techniques. I know that
Yeah,
when I
sure.
went to art school, like we copied the masters first. We tried to paint like Picasso. We tried to paint like Degas. We tried to paint like Michelangelo. And it is something where to start from, I wouldn't say it's scratch, but to start over again, to start the painting process, because we were all kids. We all painted. We all got messy, and
Yeah.
we're
No
so
fear.
marvelously creative, and we let it go usually as like along the
Well, you have
way.
to do this, you have to make a living, you have to, all the have tos got in the way.
Yeah. And it really sounds like you're finding your people because these are people who want to get back to that and want to like just learn new techniques that make it easy for them to express themselves
Yeah,
again.
they're learning so fast. I keep thinking they're gonna put me out of business. I'm gonna lose them all. Painting so fast and so well, but, so far so good.
Awesome. Well, you told me that you made a big transition from teaching in person to online and how that really freed up a lot for you because it freed up time, it freed up the having I right now I'm teaching a workshop on in person tomorrow and I'm having to load my car with tables and art materials and all the things. And so to make it a fun, magical, artistic flow experience for others, there's a lot of work involved.
It
um,
is.
so I love that you have made this transition to make yourself more comfortable and then give yourself the ability to connect with more people too at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm loving that part, especially, as an artist, my, work life has been just me, and then I'll have a show here and there, so there's other people. But, yeah, it's a very, alone job, and now it's become, public. Sort of fun.
Your visibility, yes, you are
Totally,
visible.
totally different.
Yes. Have you discovered that you like that, or is that something that
I love it. Yeah. I think on some level I missed out on the community part of stuff
Mhm.
as an artist, but, I mean, not missed out, it was how it was. I couldn't paint with other people around, so
Mhm.
yeah, it was a very quiet, other than my loud music, socially world in my painting world. My social life was great outside of it, but being at work was an alone thing, and being at
Mhm.
work, it's only 2 times a month that I do the teaching for an
Okay.
hour, just over an hour. So, because I also didn't want that to be too much for them to have to keep up, or, "Oh, I missed one," or, "I can't keep up," or too much, for me. So, I find it's perfect, and pretty much
Hmm.
everybody's like, "That's just the perfect pace."
That's great. You've discovered your rhythm of the
Yeah,
process,
yeah,
and it may change or adapt or flow into different things, but I think that's very reasonable. Yeah, I would sometimes when things are weekly, I'm like, I get stressed out because I it's hard to be
exactly.
consistent every week
Yeah,
with my
yeah.
practices.
Plus, I wanna travel and, be free, and every once in a while, if we have them 2 times per month, once in a while, there's 3 weeks of
Mhm.
break time. Um, so I'll do maybe an art retreat in France or something. We'll see.
Mhm. That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
I want to come. Well, let me ask two more questions here today. So the second to the last question I have for you is, um, how has reconnecting with other people's creativity helped you reconnect to your own creativity? So you're out there teaching other people to reconnect to their creativity,
Hmm.
but has it changed you as well?
I'm not quite sure how to answer that, but what I noticed
Mhm,
is the brand new painters, the ones who had never painted before,
mhm,
excel in the classes because
mhm,
maybe they have no baggage or history.
mhm.
Really, I mean, everyone's excelling, but I'm astounded by the total beginners who are like producing incredible work. Um, refocus me on what the question was. That wasn't really the answer,
No, no, that makes sense.
but
So the question was, you're helping other people reconnect to their artistic skills and their creativity. Has it helped you reconnect
right.
to new parts of your creativity as well,
Um,
or old?
I think so. Like having to think of what to paint.
Mhm,
Yes, I've had to get really, yes, that, okay, now I've got the answer. I've had to be very creative about how to teach something like painting this jar or that one or the bird or the lipstick or the flowers, how to teach it in a way that they can access it and do it. So the teaching process has become really
mhm.
creative, because before I didn't have to think about it. I would drew it, I would just do it all by myself, and there it's great. And now I'm having to break it down into beautifully simple steps that, oh, I can draw, a circle if we're painting a donut, for example, or two circles or a fat circle, and I can put some color on top and ice it. And before they know it, they're icing a donut and it looks real and they're thrilled. So that part's been really exciting. And then seeing that they're doing it is the biggest reward, and getting there and learning stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like you've really changed from being in the advertising illustration world where it was very solo, you doing this for a company, to you doing your own art, which for a lot of artists, it is a very solo kind of creativity and alone in the studios. And now you're taking on the role of a teacher, and it's really stretched you beyond that lonely, like that one person in a studio. Maybe you're still one person in your studio, but you're connecting to so many other people
Yeah.
in it. And it sounds like your teaching has kind of grown. You've learned how to do things, maybe through trial and error, through trying to make it simple for people who are at zero or learning from the basics.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's a beautiful evolution to
Yeah.
look
And I
at.
didn't know. I'm not a big planner. I just,
Mhm,
things started falling into place this way.
mhm.
But
Well, it
I'm
sounds
loving teaching and sharing everything, because I want everybody to know how easy it can be if you like this type of painting. Not, it's not for everybody, It's not, we don't do any abstract painting, but
Mhm,
it's just amazing how easy it can be.
mhm. And that ease is once again that theme of bringing joy through the process of painting. When we feel like things can be easy, um, it does bring a lightness to our heart. It brings like in a world where things feel like a struggle or where just it feels like we're fighting against the system sometimes, or maybe fighting with family. Who knows what's going on in people's
Exactly.
lives? As a therapist, I hear a lot of stories. But in a world where things feel like a struggle at times, you're bringing lightness, you're bringing a process that can offer people an easy way to not only escape, but also feel proud of themselves again.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, because you had a question about mental health, that's where
Yeah.
the stabilize your mental health bit comes in, because painting, the act of painting does something magical.
Yeah, I keep coming back to it because I love the process as well, and I want to connect with you and maybe take one of your workshops as well.
Yeah, we'll
So,
talk.
how do people find you if they want to be a part of your world and be a part of your painting um, studios or painting classes? How do they find you?
Well, this is good timing because I actually have a Zoom paint party coming up,
Okay.
April 29th. I know this will be probably on YouTube beyond that, but for now, anybody who's catching this now, um, I can, oh, you're going to put the links in the
Yes,
thing.
I will put all your links in
Yeah,
there.
I'll send you a Zoom party invitation link. So for sort of a paint party, that's on the 29th at 3 Eastern
Mhm,
Standard Time. And then there's my website has all sorts of links to work that I've already done
mhm,
and uh, how to join Paint Club if anybody wants to join it or to get on the
mhm.
waiting list. Depends when you come to it. It's a
Okay.
closed membership, but it
Okay.
opens 3 or 4 times a year or 2 or 3 times a year so far.
And
So
Paint
yeah,
Club
my
is where you
website's
meet
free.
twice a month? Is Paint Club where you meet twice a month and do the twice
Yes,
a
yeah.
month paintings?
And outside
Okay.
of that, that's it in terms of classes. There's nothing else. But free demo once in a while, like the Zoom party is going to
Yeah,
be. Yeah. And then my website, I forgot to say, it's just my name, susanpepler.com. I think it's even behind me. Maybe it just
it
looks backwards
is.
on my screen, but I don't know if it's
No,
backwards
I
on.
can see it. Yeah,
Okay, good.
it's legible for me and for the audience. So
Great.
perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time today. I love learning about other artists and other creatives and just getting a glimpse into your world, not only through our conversation, but through all the things around you too. It's really been enjoyable today.
Well, you're very good at this, Amber. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm not a
Yeah,
professional, but I'm trying.
doing very well.
Awesome.
So we will keep talking outside of here, but yeah, this has been really sweet. Thank you
Awesome.
for the invitation.
Thank you, Susan.